Beginning my day with yoga and asana practice is like turning the light on. It's my moment to do something for myself before I do whatever else I do. And I like to do a number of things, a variety of creative outlets, if you will. I like the ability that my body has to channel what experiences mean things to me. And before I go off on my endeavors in doing such, moving my body in the ways of its structure and design are what allow me to create more, further, new. And to say the least, it's not always easy to find the drive to move at all. Being somebody who went and learned how to teach yoga, I know further the lack of drive at moments, and at the same time how important it is in those days to do a little bit, because a little does go a long way. And additionally, what I've also begun to understand and learn is that telling anybody anything is quite impossible. When you direct them with, you might or ought to find this practice enjoyable. This will benefit you. I have been the person on the other side saying, I don't really have time. I don't really care. I don't really want to. And you find reasons why not to. And what I've discovered are many, 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 many reasons to do. So that leaves me being a little more consistent than not, doing my yoga and finding benefit only from it. And I've had to adjust and do it at a pace where my body was able to accommodate my expectations, and I've also had to lower my expectations. There are places that we may find that are locked or unavailable or frozen or rigid, and with the breath and movement, they warm up and we integrate that ability. Because free and full range of motion is the aim, so that we may live a life in that regard, free and full. And yoga is what empowers us, the practice to extend, expand, as well as contract, go in and release everything that is in the body for it to then just be its self. There is a magic, and everything that is going on in the process of yoga is extremely hard to mention. What the yogic perspective may be is providing the movement and corresponding cue so that then the experience will happen. And we are all unique in our ability to experience, so what is going on for me may not be going on for you. However, yoga is a universal tool, and beyond the idea of it being a tool, it is the thing that we all are doing, whether we are on the mat doing positions and postures, or we are off the mat going about our lives. We are still within the experience of harnessing our energy to utilize it for whatever task we've set to our mission. So, to begin to talk about yoga, the length of this video is, it's really an opening for me to mention how much joy has come from it, yet the struggle in discovering that joy. Because it does take time. And I've learned to maximize and optimize my time. Sometimes I only do 5 minutes. Here we are at 5. And sometimes, hour and a half. And that's not necessarily just an overzealous day. When I was planning my practicums out, I had a hard time not doing an hour and a half of yoga. I had to limit it to an hour. And these days, I have less interest in doing an hour, and I just do enough to expand where I'm at currently, and a little bit of maintenance so that my muscles do find themselves relaxed and engaged. When we learn the options for our bodies to move in which directions and how and with what support, we then can find ourselves moving freely within that path or within that set of instructions we have vaguely in our minds. We can find what feels good. So, for example, I didn't plan what I was going to do for yoga this day. I simply begin moving, and because I have an idea of what movements are available from which movements, I find my ability to move within them. Not planning actually does me really well, and so thus what I aim to do is maybe provide some options for you yogis to move in certain ways, and then you can enjoy yourself in that process. Some instruction is appreciated, and so then muscle memory kicks in, and you know where you're going, and then you can kind of go on your own. But until you go on your own, and in your own way, you kind of require a bit of guidance. And that process in itself is, many things. It can be frustrating or, limiting because you're being told to do something and you don't even know what it is. You're like, what is that? Where? How? What? And yet, with some time and trust in the process, you can begin every day ready to learn where you're going next. When you apply your breath in these lovely movements you may take, you are fanning your flame, if you will. Every cell of your body expands and contracts with it. So you travel every aspect of your body with this notion of inhale and exhale. When you move in certain places, the breath goes to certain aspects of your being and goes, a little more here, please. Expand a little more here. Contract a little more there. And there's invitation from your own body's understanding of itself, its own wisdom, that you may apply these knowings to just breathe and enjoy that breath, your breath, for what it is. And then it'll lead you to what's next. Breath and sound. Together we are experiencing the beginning and the sustenance, the maintenance, and the end of what is. And sometimes when we reach the end of an exhale, we are anxious for that inhale to come. And then if we slow down that entire process and really trust our breath, it comes again, certainly. So we may allow ourselves to be empty in those moments and trust and release, to then expand with a full inhale to how much that is our, deserved experience to have as much breath as we can contain. And this is me saying I did it backwards. The notion of backwards is a fun one. We sometimes think that we have to inhale to exhale, but actually we have to exhale to inhale. We have to empty what's inside of us to be able to take in more. And that is relevant and relatable and resonant to many other aspects of life. You know, we don't eat to then push food through our system. Our body does that. And breathing and twisting really does allow us to move, or have movement of our, food on the digestive notion. Anyways, carrying on. Empty to fill. So you have to kind of drop everything you know about yoga, and this is what goes for me as well. Let go of any idea of what the notion of yoga is, so that when you arrive on your mat, you simply are with movement. And movement is with you. And having guidance is a beautiful thing because you discover capabilities and your limits where you may not have tested or gone before. And then that's a beautiful bright light to that area saying, here's where you can work. You can do this. The celebration mode of what's within your, repertoire or in your wheelhouse. Because some things inspire you to go further. The things that you can't do just yet, they are the things that call you to working towards them. If you do the same things every day, maybe you won't get very far, but you will get stronger and you will get more capable, and you will notice that strength, your strength, grow as you dedicate your energy to that very thing that just asks for your time. A little bit of attention, a little bit of intention, and it goes a long way. This is to say that any effort in your endeavors, invested, any of your resources, any bit of your life force applied, will pay off because you chose to do so. There are countless things in this life that demand your attention, and to be able to do any of them, you kind of got to give yourself attention first. And this isn't me telling you anything. This is your body asking for attention in a very respectful way to be able to meet yourself in the place of need. You need to find where you are and move from that place and begin every day. Every day asks us to expand our place of stillness from when we rise out of bed calmly and certainly, to then move, connect, recalibrate, relax, prepare, integrate, understand, revere, align. What yoga looks like is what life is. And like I'm saying, on the mat, it is slowed down. We don't have to jerk our bodies around. We can really settle in to the pace of our pulse, the rise and fall of our chest, without rushing into what may be next. We are simply being with our process. And it is such a beauty in honoring that momentum, which gets quicker. Maybe what takes an hour back in your beginning stages only takes 15, 16 minutes because you know how to pack your time and concentrate your mind and go far and fast with where you're at. Yoga has taught me many things, and all I aim to do is to share my experience of that which it is and maybe call you to yours. I don't necessarily have desires to hold yoga space in the online context, but online content does have its place. So for now, because of my little space here, I can do this and share in this way. And until there's room for more, I am simply here to call attention to what has helped me.